Good evening. Thank you for joining us for another virtual town hall today is Wednesday, November 4th, the day after election. So a lot on my mind today, a lot on my mind. But before I move forward, I want to start with our numbers. COVID cases, as of today, in the state, we're at 230,209 cases. In the county, we're at 3,042 cases. Here in Yellow Springs, we are at 2 cases, and those 2 cases are 2 new positive cases. The cases we were tracking over the last week's come down, and now we've gotten 2 new cases, but our numbers still remain low. Today is the day after election. An election is yet to be decided. So I know that there's some stress, I think, for all of us here in our community, and there are probably several days of stress ahead of us as the election is yet to be decided. And it may be a while before a winner is declared. So I've had this on my mind, and I just want to share some words that I know that our community is filled with passion and drive to making the world a better place. And I know that after the election is decided, we'll continue to have that passion, drive, and energy to make the world a better place. And it starts right here in our community. So I hope that we can continue that enthusiasm to make our community better and keep moving forward. For the time being, I think it's important that we remain calm and let the process continue. So that's my post-election message. Hang in there. We all hang in there. We'll get through it. All right, I've got a couple announcements in terms of administrative updates. I got one more election update to make. We have the votes are in on issue 5, which is our property tax levy renewal. This levy is important to the operations of the village. It allows us to deliver all the essential services that you depend on and that we thrive to ensure that you have, and so that we can create value and provide all the support that our community needs and expects of us. So with that, I want to say thank you because I see your vote, your support. 72% of our voters voted in favor of it. I see that as a vote of confidence in our government's role in delivering essential services. I see it as a vote of confidence that we are good stewards of public funds, and we commit to continue being good stewards and be collaborative in the way that we approach our work, that be collaborative, creating value for you and helping build a beloved community. So thank you. All right. You've heard me speaking about public Wi-Fi for several weeks now. And you may be wondering, well, when are we actually getting started? Well, we start installation tomorrow. So I'm excited to announce that you'll be seeing bucket trucks in the downtown area. We'll be running fiber and installing the public Wi-Fi. So that's exciting that we'll start tomorrow. So hopefully by next week, we will be lighting up the public Wi-Fi and you will have access to super fast internet in the downtown area. So that's it for me. Joining me tonight is Fire Chief Colin Altman. Chief, are you in, which room are you in?
Good evening, Josue. I am here at CNN's election headquarters. We've been here, I've been here all through the night and all today. Little did people know that I am a key component of the CNN election team. I was the one who very early on called Vermont for Donald Trump. That was my second strike. I'm almost out of here because of that. So Donald Trump, of course, did not win Vermont. But I'm here this evening with Wolf Blitzer, of course, Anderson Cooper, Christian Amanpour, Jeffrey Toobin, who does have his pants on this evening, thank goodness. And, excuse me, special guest star, Trump spokes Yahoo, Eric Trump. So he has actually just requested a recount, Josue, of the Village issue 5, just to be on the safe side. So that might be happening. First off, I want to say thank you to everybody who came out to the Miami Township, Village of Yellow Springs Police Department, JCAR Construction, Halloween blowout back on Saturday night. It was a great success, I thought. We gave out a lot of candy. Everyone seemed to be happy. We had smiling children, smiling psychotic clowns, smiling warlock, smiling village manager, the guy in the weird suit. Everything worked out well. Even Mayor Pam was there. So it was wonderful. So thank you all for everyone who came and had a great time. Yeah, hopefully there won't be a pandemic next year, so we won't have to consider it, but who knows? We might be back again. Excuse me. Josue was talking about the cases. It's important that we note in the last 24 hours, we had 4,071 additional cases in Ohio, which is just below record breaking. So that is a record we don't like, but we seem to be making records every day. So it's important to remember that virus is still there. There was also an increase of 186 hospitalizations, people going to the hospital, and an increase of, I think, 28 ICU admissions in the last 24 hours. And those are the numbers that we're really concerned about, the hospitalizations and the ICU admissions. Currently in our region, we're still doing okay, but things are starting to get tight in terms of hospital bed capacity. So it is important, excuse me, that we do everything we can to avoid getting the virus and also to avoid getting the seasonal flu. So I've been saying this over and over again. If you haven't got your flu shot yet, go get it. It's very important because people who get sick with the flu then go to the hospital and add to the bed capacity issues. So we want you to get your flu shot. I've had mine. It wasn't that bad. So please get it done. It's very important. As I said, the virus clearly is still out there. It really has taken a toll on us at the fire department. We have had in the last 2 weeks, 7 members of our staff out in isolation for COVID-19. If you know my department, we don't have a whole lot of people, so it's really taken its toll on everybody, both our ill members and everyone who's working hard to cover those shifts. So we're still there. We're still there to help and respond. We might be a little thinner. Of our 7 cases, 2 have since returned to work and been cleared by public health to come back, which is wonderful. We're very happy about that. The other 5 are still ill to different degrees. Luckily, no one is seriously ill. But the point being here, the disease is out there. And if it gets us who wear masks on every single incident we go on and in the station all the time and are tested regularly, it can hit anyone. So we need to do what we're supposed to. Wear our masks, social distance, 6 feet or 2 meters, for those of you who prefer the metric system. Wash and sanitize our hands frequently, cover our coughs, and very importantly, stay home if you don't need to go out. I know we're yellow springers and we love to go out and hug each other like we haven't seen each other in 6 years, even though I just saw you yesterday. We need to stop. You know, people are like, oh my God, it's terrible. What are we going to do? We're going to have to stay home for a little bit, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. We're not looking at a good vaccine, until maybe January at the earliest. And then it's going to take a long time to ramp up. And apparently 40% of Americans don't want to take it. So it's not going to be that helpful initially. So this is going to be our normal for a long time. So we have to do the right thing, continue to do the right thing. Our numbers are showing that we are doing that in the Yellow Springs and Miami Township metro area. So let's continue doing it, keep our numbers down. If you think you have COVID when you call 911 for an ambulance, please tell the dispatcher that so our guys are aware ahead of time. And we'll come take care of you. So if there's nothing else, I will throw it back to, yes. Anderson Cooper says hello. Josue, just wanted to say hi. I'm going to throw it back to you, Mr. Manager, and a big hearty congratulations on passing issue 5. Great margin, almost as much as having a fire department operation. So you're getting close. Maybe next time, but we'll see. Nice work. Back to you, Josue.
Thank you so much, Colin. All right, joining us tonight is also Police Chief Brian Carlson. Chief.
Thanks, Josue. Thanks, Chief Altman. Good evening, everyone. I'm just going to take a quick moment tonight to thank everyone for turning out yesterday at the polls. A special thanks to Councilperson Mary Ann McQueen, Mayor Pam, and the others who volunteered to assist with any conflicts that might arise at the polls. I believe we only received one call about social distancing, and the amazing volunteers took good care of the situation. Another big special thanks to Sheriff Gene Fisher and his team at the Greene County Sheriff's Office for their presence throughout the day as well. I don't know if you saw them, but they were traveling around all the polls in Greene County, and it was a boon for us to see them as well. It's a very positive and beautiful day, as most of you know, and on behalf of your entire Peace Department, I want to say thank you to the community for all the thanks and well wishes we received yesterday while we were out. It was a great feeling. And last, I want to express my personal thanks to this Yellow Springs Police Department team. All of us today in society are facing so many unknowns, the uncertainty, the fears that no one in my lifetime has had to process for sure. Yet this team, they all respond to these fears, the sometimes bizarre and escalated situations and tensions from these unknowns like it's business as usual. I'm very proud to be a part of this team with all of you. All I can say to you guys is wow. Thanks for all that you do. Again, it's a pleasure to serve with you. Back to you, Josue.
Thank you, Chief. It's a pleasure to serve with you. All right, Mayor Pam, thank you for joining us tonight.
As usual, it is my pleasure. Thank you, Josue and Chief. Usually when I come on these town halls, I have a topic of hopefully relevant interest in the community that I'd like to cover. It started out during the COVID days back in March and April with the neighborhood block contact program, and then morphed into talking about some of the different types of assistance we could get in Yellow Springs, and then on to census. And finally, it seems the last few times I've been on, I've been talking about voting. So I thought I'd start there tonight, end up somewhere in that area. But I thought you might be interested in knowing, for those of you that voted by mail, or for those of you who voted in Xenia at early voting, I thought you might be interested in knowing what went on, as Chief was alluding to, locally at Antioch University Midwest, our local polling station. Things went quickly, things went smoothly. I was told there was about a 20-minute wait at the beginning of the day when folks were trying to come in and vote before work, but it quickly dissipated and there were no more lines throughout the day. In fact, usually during the day, the bulk of poll workers, watchers, and volunteers vastly outnumbered the voters coming in. And I thought this was interesting. Part of the reason I voted early in Xenia. I wanted to be able to share with you viewers what was going on there and have a visual for what the scene looked like. And it took me an hour and a half to vote, but it was well worth it because I could report on it. But it turned out that Yellow Springs did not have a crowd. So I also wanted to give a shout out to our local Peace Department because they maintained a very respectfully distanced watch during the day. And it was nice to see a cruiser rolling in, hang out for a little while, check things out, and then quietly depart. I also wanted to thank all the aforementioned poll watchers, poll workers, poll observers. We had some high school students in there helping out, peacekeepers, and others who volunteered during the day. This is very important work. As Josue said, we still don't know, and of course Colin, since he's there at CNN Central, we still don't know the results of the national election. We know it's close. And we also know it may take a while to count all the votes, but this is the way our system works. This is the way our system has worked since the beginning of the Republic. It's not a trick. It's not something new. Again, it's the way our system works. So regardless of whoever wins the election, I know the other side is going to be disappointed, maybe angry, saying over and over, how could this have happened? How could this guy have been elected? But by the end of the day, I'll say it one final time, This is the way our system works. So these last few hours of election uncertainty, and I've been following it quite closely, have me thinking about our village, our little blue village in this surrounding ocean of red. And like many of you, I moved here by choice because I wanted to live in a place that was, well, just like our village. And I've lived here now for over 40 years, and I wouldn't live anywhere else for a myriad of reasons, not the least of which is our clean water, our beautiful green woods, no hurricanes, no forest fires, and my list goes on. And when I was riding my bike home from the village office today, I passed many yard signs, but they weren't the political yard signs that you usually see. I'm not talking about those. I took some pictures of them, and I'm talking about the signs that say, love your neighbor, your Black, brown, immigrant, disabled, religious, different, LGBTQ, fully human neighbor. Hate has no home here. We believe Black lives matter. No human is illegal. Love is love. Women's rights are human rights. Science is real. Water is life. And injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. In our America, all people are equal. Love wins. Black lives matter. Immigrants and refugees are welcome. Disabilities are respected. Women are in charge of their bodies. People and planet are valued, never profit. Diversity is celebrated. And of course, the sign we see frequently in one of our original signs, the mask sign, blue mask, be kind. So these are the signs that when I see them, it makes me so proud to be the mayor of this wonderfully special place. And come what may in the next few days, hours, weeks, our villagers are going to carry on unified in our devotion to approaching life with all the gusto that we can manage, and even especially during a pandemic. So here's my parting words. Be kind to one another. Look out after your neighbor. Love the one you're with, even if it has 4 legs. And mask up. Back to you, Josue.
Thank you so much, Mayor. All right, we will now open for questions. I think we have one question that's come in, Philip. All right, question from Eric Clark. Is that levy a static assessment or will it rise with the new appraised values we received this summer? Eric, the issue 5 property tax levy is a fixed rate levy. It's for 8.4 mills. So it only generates the amount of money that generated the previous year. So what that means to the effective tax rate is that the tax rate is adjusted and typically lower than the 8.4 mills to generate the same amount of income that it did the previous year. So the reappraisal doesn't affect the overall revenue that we as a village government receive. However, it does have an effect on the property taxes on that appraised value. So this particular tax levy, by the estimates provided by the Greene County auditor, would entails a $219 per $100,000 of appraised value. So if your property values went up, well, depending on what it went up by, that's the proportional amount of tax that gets paid. But overall, it's not going to generate an additional revenue for us. It just means for the tax base that depending on how properties go up or go down, that the property tax gets, the effective tax gets spread out through all the property tax paying landowners. So in short is, It's fixed rate. So to use your terminology, it is static. It's not going to increase our revenues. Issue 5 is projected to provide for us $700,000 in a property tax once all the rollbacks and additional charges are adjusted for it. In total, it generates about $835,000. There's a presentation that we've created as part of the educational campaign, and that presentation's on our website. Philip and Sean have created a video, and that's available on Facebook and Channel 5. I think the Channel 5, it may be coming down today or tomorrow since election is over. But I invite you to check out that presentation, that video. If you can't find it on our social media channel, please email me and I will email you a copy of that presentation. Thank you for your question, Eric. Philip, any additional questions? Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Chief. I just got a text message alert that we've got news about Michigan.
Yes, live from here at CNN headquarters. Michigan has been called for Joe Biden. So that's Michigan and Wisconsin, which is a parent win. There's a recount going to be going on there. We're still watching Nevada. Some people have called Arizona, but we haven't here at CNN headquarters because we're cautious. And some weird things are going on in Georgia. Could change. Can you imagine Georgia going blue?
It's possible.
It's possible. And Pennsylvania's not lost either. So it's going to be a long night.
All right. Thank you, Chief. And thank you all for who's watching us from home. Thank you for joining us for another virtual town hall. We will be here again next week. So see you next Wednesday. Have a good evening.